Hi, Soraya. It's me. It's your Aunt Em. I'm gonna read you some more of the book, A Bear Called Paddington. Okay? We're still reading chapter 2. Paddington liked geography. At least he liked his sort of geography, which meant seeing strange places and new people. Before he left South America on his long journey to England, his Aunt Lucy, who was a very wise old bear, had done her best to teach him all she knew. She had told him all about the places he would see on the way, and she had spent many long hours reading to him about the people he would meet. It had been a long journey. It had been a long journey, halfway round the world, and so Paddington's map occupied most of the bathroom floor and also used up most of Mr. Brown's shaving cream. With the little that was left, he tried writing his new name again. His new name again. He had several attempts and finally decided on Paddington. It looked most important. It wasn't until a tripful of warm water landed on his nose that he realized the bath was full and was beginning to run over the side. With a sigh, he climbed he climbed up up on uh, up. With a sigh, he climbed up onto the side of the bath, closed his eyes, held his nose with one paw, and jumped. The water was hot and soapy and much deeper than he had expected. In fact, he had to stand on tippy toe even to keep his nose above the surface. Above the surface. It was then that he had a nasty shock. It's one thing getting into a bath. It's quite another matter getting out, especially when the water comes up to your nose and the sides are slippery and your eyes are full of soap. He couldn't even see to turn the taps off. He tried calling out help first in quite a quiet voice, then very loudly, help! Help! He waited for a few moments, but no one came. Suddenly he had an idea. What 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 a good thing he was still wearing his hat. He took it off and began bailing out the water. There were several holes in the hat because it was a very old one. That had once belonged to his uncle, but if the water didn't get much less, at least it didn't get any more. That's funny, said Mr. Brown, jumping up from his armchair and rubbing his forehead. I could have sworn I felt a spot of water. Don't be silly, dear. How could you? Miss Brown, busy with her knitting, didn't didn't even bother to look up. Mr. Brown grunted and returned to his newspaper. He knew he had felt something, but there was no point in arguing. He looked suspiciously at the children, but both Judy and Jonathan were busy writing their letter. How much does it cost to send a letter to Lima? Asked Jonathan. Judy was about to reply when another drop of water fell down from the ceiling, this time right on to the table. Oh gosh, she jumped to her feet, pulling Jonathan after her. There was an ominous wet patch right over their heads, and right underneath the bathroom. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you going now, dear? Asked Miss Brown. Oh, just upstairs to see how Paddington's getting on. Judy pushed Jonathan through the door and shut it quickly behind them. Quicky, Quikey, said Jonathan. What's up? What's up? It's Paddington, cried Judy over her shoulder as she rushed up the stairs. I think he's in trouble. She ran along the landing and banged loudly on the bathroom door. Are you all right, Paddington? She shouted. May we come in? Help! Help! Shouted Paddington. Please come in. I think I'm going to drown. Oh, Paddington! Judy leaned over the side of the bath and helped Jonathan lift a dripping and very frightened Paddington on to the floor. Oh, Paddington! Thank goodness you are all right. Paddington lay on his back in a pool of water. What a good job! What a good job, job! What a good job I had! My head, he panted. Aunt Lucy told Aunt Lucy told me never to be without it. But why on earth didn't you pull the plug out, you silly, said Judy. Oh, Paddington looked crestfallen. I never thought of that. Jonathan looked admiringly at Paddington. Crikey, he said, fancy you making all this mess. Even I never made as much mess as this. Paddington sat up and looked around. The whole of the bathroom floor was covered in a sort of white foam where the hot water had landed on his map of South America. It is a bit untidy, he admitted. I, I didn't, I didn't really know how it got like that. Untidy, Judy lifted him to his feet and wrapped a towel around him. Paddington, we have all got a lot of work to do before we go downstairs again. If Miss Ford sees this, I don't know what she will say. I do, exclaimed Jonathan. She, she says it to me sometimes. Sometimes. Judy began wiping the floor with a cloth. Now, just you, just you dry yourself quickly, in case you catch cold. Paddington began rubbing himself meekly with the towel. I must say, he remarked, looking at himself in the mirror, I am a lot cleaner than I was. It, it does, doesn't look like me at all. Paddington did look much cleaner than when when he had first arrived at the Browns. His fur, which was really quite light in color and not dark brown as it had been, was standing out like a new brush, except that it was soft and silky. His nose gleamed, and his ears had lost all traces of the jam and cream. He was so much cleaner than when he arrived downstairs and entered the dining room some time later. Everyone pretended not to recognize him. The tradesman's entrance is at the side, said Mr. Brown from behind his paper. Miss Brown put down her knitting and stared at him. I think you must the tradesman's entrance is at the side, said Mr. Brown from behind his paper. Miss Brown put down her knitting and stared at him. Miss Brown put down her knitting and stared at him. I think you must have come to the wrong house, she said. This is number 32, not 34. Even Jonathan and Judy agreed. There must be some mistake. Paddington began to get quite worried until they all burst out laughing and said how nice he looked now that he was brushed and combed and respectable. They made room for him in a small armchair by the fire, and Miss Ford came in with another pot of tea and a plate of hot buttered toast.